Hello world, I'm Kronos. Welcome. So again, it's gonna be a short one. We don't have much light time, but I did feel it was important that I do make a video today, and so here we are. Uh, the light was going down, is going down really fast, so we'll get right to it. And so last time we ended with like a little task, like before you share something of yourself or anything online on social media, pause and reflect and ask yourself, why am I doing this? Why am I uploading this? Why now? Why this specifically? What am I trying to get? What am I trying to gain? Am I trying to get something or give something? So in general, that's how we ended, and it's really important to catch yourself in the act and ask these questions, because that's how you learn, that's how you really grow, you know? When you catch yourself doing something that you would do automatically, and you do it, and you stop and analyze it, and you self-reflect, you self-reflect, that's how you change, that's how you grow, that's how you learn, you know? And I gave that example because people are so, like, it's so common, and people need to know why they're doing what they're doing, so they don't run on auto, you know, on autopilot. You want to be conscious of your actions as much as you can, so that you can control them and you can understand why you do what you do, so you are not manipulated and you can't be led astray. There's a lot of reasons that you want to be in that control. It's the only thing you have, really. What else do we have? Everything else is like borrowed, it's temporary. Your body, even, like everything you do. So the only thing truly that you can grow is within, because everything else that you see around you is just not yours. It is not you. Even your body is not you. So yeah, so from that perspective, we talked also a lot about, we talked about how it is important it is to look within, and how you should not do stuff you should do stuff for yourself first and then give it to others. Like, so if you learn, share it. Like, if you know something, share your knowledge, share your wisdom, share your talents, but don't do it for approval. Don't do it to get likes or do it for you first. And that kind of, you would think, people might think contradicts, like, the wise man, I should say, like the person who is isolating, and like, it's not, it doesn't mean you can't have friends, it doesn't mean you can't socialize. We talked a lot about not being in groups, etc., how it affects you, how it can hurt your soul, maim you, make you do stuff that you wouldn't otherwise, how it can damage you and rub off on the behavior of the masses, you know, which is usually not something to pursue, not something valuable, not living according to nature. And so it doesn't contradict. Like, you can, we're gonna break it down. Just because you're a truth seeker and a loner, and someone who looks within and enjoys the alone and the inner world, and someone you might consider well balanced and grounded, that doesn't mean, just because you're able to be alone and you enjoy the solitude, doesn't mean you want to be alone all the time. It doesn't mean you're not a social creature. It doesn't mean you don't like the company of people. It doesn't mean you can't have deep connection and conversation. It doesn't mean you don't have emotions, feelings. That's not what it is. And so you have to take everything we say with a think about it. Don't just accept it the way it is. Ask questions. That's the whole point, right? So let's read a little bit on philosophy and friendship, and continue off from there. Let's see where we go. You desire to know whether Epicurus is right when in one of his letters he rebukes those who hold that the wise man is self-sufficient, and for that reason does not stand in need of friendships. This is the objection raised by Epicurus against Stilbo and those who believe that the supreme good is the soul which is insensible to feelings. Basically, he said what I just said, that look at this. I feel like this kind of like ancient, I feel like an RPG game, like a weapon, the Skype, you know, or the Grim Reaper. Anyway, what the fuck. So he's saying what I'm saying. So the objection against Stilbo and those who believe that the supreme good is a soul. So when you follow this philosophy and you do live by it, and you are able to be alone with yourself and with your thoughts and look within and find the true meaning and your calling, etc., and when you are very grounded and based, and you still can and want to have company, to enjoy it. I think Nietzsche said the man who enjoys solitude must be either a monster or a god, which is a very deep quote, a very deep saying. It has, I'm not going to break it down right now because it deserves, you know what, but I'm going to touch on it because it connects. So a monster is not human, right? So you must be a monster if you want to be alone. It has deeper meaning than that, because humanity being a monster is presented as and known as something soulless, something that doesn't self-reflect. It's just evil, right? Like a demon. And the other option is being a god, which is what we strive for in a way, because we are gods in temporary bodies, and our consciousness is very limited at this point, but it's not us. We are gods. So the true meaning is once you find out that you're a god, that you're an immortal god, that's when you get it. Because when you discover yourself, you know yourself, and you know that you are that god, then you can enjoy that solitude, right? Because we are gods. So you must be either a monster or a god. Maybe you hate humanity to the core. Or maybe you love it so much, but you know creation. First of all, you are a creator. You know that. You can, once you truly internalize it, you can enjoy solitude. Once you know, you feel comfortable being alone in silence. That's being a god. The birds are agreeing with me. I kind of don't want to interrupt now. I feel like I want to just sit here and listen to the birds instead of speaking. Should get going. Anyway. So, the Supreme Soul is a soul which is insatiable to feelings. It is not. It is not. Just because you live by nature and you look at things logically and you're able to handle certain things with a certain amount of control and dignity, and able to think and to be logical about a lot of things that people tend to not be. And you're looked at as this supreme good, right? You in a sense that's your kind of like you accomplished. You're a well-established philosopher, right? Someone respected who knows this in and out and acts upon his philosophy. So even if you're that, it doesn't mean you're insatiable to feelings. You still have feelings. You can still feel. You can still have love, and you can still be sad and happy, etc. So don't think this whole thing is all gray. You can be this and still be human. You tend to think like it contradicts. It doesn't. We are bound to meet with a double meaning if we try to express the Greek term lack of feeling. Summarily, in a single word, rendering it by the Latin word impatientia, for it may be understood in the meaning the opposite to that, which we wish it to have. The opposite of that which we wish it to have. What we mean to express is a soul which rejects any sensation of evil. But people will interpret the idea as that of a soul which can endure no evil. Consider, therefore, whether it is not better to say a soul that cannot be harmed, or a soul that entirely beyond the realm of suffering. There is this difference between ourselves and the other schools. The other school. Our ideal wise man feels his trouble, but overcomes them. Their wise man does not even feel them. But we and they alike hold this idea, that a wise man is self-sufficient. Nevertheless, he desires friends, neighbors, and associates, no matter how much he is sufficient unto himself. And mark how self-sufficient he is. Mark how self-sufficient he is. For on occasion he can be content with a part of himself. If he lose a hand through disease or war, or if some accident puts out one or both of his eyes, he will be as satisfied with what is left, taking as much pleasure in his impaired and maimed body as he took when it was sound. But while he does not pine in for these parts if they are missing, he prefers not to lose them. In this sense, the wise man is self-sufficient, that he can do without friends, not that he desires to do without them. When I say can, I mean this: he endures the loss of a friend with equanimity. Well, of course, Seneca says it better than I could. So, there is a difference between being able to endure pain, hurt, or anything else with dignity, and being absolute content with it, and being unable to feel it, being beyond it. That's not what we are. That's what he claims. The other school, the cynics. He's talking about the cynics. That they believe, like, they will talk about it cynically. They will be cynic about, are you beyond feelings, beyond suffering? No. You're able to handle it in a very, how would you say, sufficient, efficient, smart, logical, objective. You're able to endure it. You're able to handle it. You're able to understand and get beyond it, conquer it, able to deal with it. Doesn't mean you don't feel it. If we're both out of shape and we go running for like 20 kilometers, right? We might both be in the same shape, same shitty shape, both suffer the same, but one of us might not give up. Be able to handle it. Doesn't mean he doesn't feel it, right? It goes for anything. So the ability to handle it doesn't mean the lack of it. If you watch MMA, you would know, if you ever got kicked or punched or anything like that, how painful it can be. You will understand that when they get kicked like really hard, or like, and they hide it really well most of the time, right? You have no idea how fucking hard a good leg kick will fucking put you out. Trust me, I know. And so when you see them getting like bam, and they're not really responding, they're hiding it really well, it's not because they can't feel it. Trust me, they can feel it. They're able to stay stoic about it. That's the difference. They're not superhuman. They're just, we are all superhuman in a way, but they're just, for you it might be. They develop this superhuman qualities over time by doing it over and over again. So the true meaning of this good, willing soul, high philosopher is, it is someone who rejects the sensation of evil, someone who, as he says it, as he puts it, someone who is fully conscious and able to make decisions fully consciously, and so rejects evil willingly, and with it ignorance, which is the only true evil. So that is the true meaning behind it. Not being above it, rejecting it of choice. It's a choice. So the impaciencia is a double, like, so the meaning of this lack of feeling is impaciencia, which is lack of feeling. So it could be misunderstood from what they actually mean. I find it hard to explain this right now, so we will just move on. Yeah. Because of the okay, I will explain it. Because of the origin of the word that has double meaning, you might confuse it with the lack of feeling. Funny, weird. I guess I don't know Greek well enough to, or really much at all, to be able to confirm or like give my own take on this, but I believe Seneca. Let's believe him. Yeah. So it's a bit different story. It's a total different thing. A soul that cannot be harmed, and a soul that is entirely beyond the realm of hurt. So you have to deal with your problems, not ignore them. You not make them disappear. We are trying to learn how to deal with dignity and with intellect and wisdom with our problems and with our events and whatever happens in our life. Not avoid it, not run from it, not act like it doesn't exist. That, I promise you, will never work. It's like ignoring the dragon in the room, as Peterson says, Jordan Peterson. You can't ignore, like you can ignore the dragon in the room for a certain amount of time, but it grows and it grows, and at a certain point that dragon, well, you have to face him or die, basically. There is a point that dragon gets too big. So it's not smart to ignore it. Don't ignore the dragon. Better deal with it when it's still a youngling, a little dragon. Don't wait till it's fucking fire-breathing creature that destroys everything in its path and then deal with it. You might destroy your life on the way. In a sense, like, I'm not trying to scare anyone, but let's just put it this way: better sooner than later. Yeah, let's continue. So the wise man, we call him the wise man, that this person is speaking about, that it goes by the divine, goes by the true nature, lives by the nature, lives true to nature. He's self-sufficient in the sense that he doesn't need anyone, but it doesn't mean he doesn't desire it, doesn't want it. There is a difference, you know, needing and wanting, and most people absolutely have to have it or they lose it. That's the truth. So just as if that kind of man would lose a part of his body, he says metaphorically, he would be just as content with life and with himself and enjoy himself just as much as he had all of his body parts. That doesn't mean he wants to lose them, obviously. So being content and being happy with what you have doesn't mean you can't appreciate what you have. Like, it doesn't mean that you don't need it. Like, you might not require it, but you need it, you want it, it is useful. Like running barefoot might be, I mean, it is a bad example because I think we should all run barefoot, but it's easier with shoes, right? It is easier with shoes. So you might not have to wear shoes, but it helps, right? So the wise man does not need friends, does not need anyone, but he, well, certainly would love it. We are all social creatures. We're not beyond it. So when he can do without friends, when he can do without anything else that the regular person might really need to survive, well, what he means is that he endorsed the loss of a friend with equanimity. That puts it the best. No need to add to that. But he never, but he need never lack friends, for it lies in his own control how soon he shall make good a loss. Just as Phidias, if he lose a statue, can straightway carve another. By the way, that this Phidias is a sculpture, obviously. So if he loses a statue, he can create another one, right? Even so, our master in the art of making friendships can fill the space of a friend he has lost. So you can fill that space. If you ask how one can make oneself a friend quickly, I will tell you. Provided we are agreed that I may pay my debt at once and square the account, so far as this letter is concerned. Hecato says, I can show you a philitre compounded with drugs, herbs, or any witch's insensation. If you would be loved, love. Well, this is okay. So how do you make friends? Well, he says, if you will be loved, love. That is such a... If you would be loved, love. If you want to make friends, if you want to have friends, be a friend. If you want people to be nice to you, be nice to people. If you want people to be generous with you, be generous with people. If you would love. If you would love to be loved. Fuck this whole thing up. Yeah, no, I didn't. If you would be loved, love. That's, I'm just... can show you a filtre, compounded without drugs, herbs, or any witches incantation. Incantation. If you would be loved, love. Now, there is a great pleasure, not only in maintaining old and established friendships, but also in beginning and acquiring new ones. Now, you know what? I'm going to stop here. I know where this is going. And I want to stop here because this sentence is like this quote: if you would be loved, love. Just, I think it's a good place to stop. And also, getting really dark. I'm going to leave you with this. I'm just going to leave you with this. If you would be loved, love. Whatever you want, do it. Create it yourself first. The universe will reflect it onto you. Yeah. And on that note, hope you enjoyed, hope you found some value. I certainly learned, and I hope you did too. And yeah, remember, we're all immortal souls in temporary bodies, and if you would be loved, love.